best immigrant are Mexicans. They're the foam of society.
Yeah, I used to work in a biotech company. We only have one Mexican employee. Whole company's softball team depends on this one guy.
It's so good.
we all show up. If he's not there, we're.
I didn't know he was gonna go there. And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Careful Boys, where we're extremely careful, Joe.
很小心.
Is that what that means? Careful?
Hem Shaoxing?
Yeah, very careful.
Now let's give it up for Joe Wong, who's going to come back.
I was being careful, but you guys are cheering.
Hem Shaoxing?
Don't be careful. Don't be careful.
小心.
Okay, so here's the question, and just so you know, Grok AI has an objective answer to this question, but we won't dive into it until the end. Okay?
How come we didn't try ChatGPT? Because they lie?
Because Ryan's the one who sent me this, showed me the answer, and I said, okay, we're gonna talk about it.
Okay, thank you, Ryan.
Who are the best immigrants coming to the USA?
Oh, interesting.
Right now? Africans.
Like the white Africans?
No. Because...
You know what I'm talking about? That's the whole thing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but I think they're refugees. They're not, right? They're like trying
I guess,
to escape.
well, is that
Whatever.
still an immigrant in a sense?
Technically, yeah. But yeah, well, the way I see it is like people that are just crushing it right now are, who's beating the Asian community are Africans. Because they are like super smart and they have the same traditional like upbringing. They get their beat to study, all this stuff, right? But they're also benefiting from the African American like affirmative action stuff that the Asians don't. So they're getting in at a higher rate because their grades are good and everything, but they're also like black. And then they're crushing it in business and other stuff too.
Well, that's a great point.
Yeah, they're crushing it.
Yeah.
You must be a doctor. Doctor.
Oh yeah, I used to talk to this immigrant from Nigeria at Starbucks. No, Starbucks usually doesn't have a lot of immigrants. Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts, but he was.
We all go, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Yeah. Yeah, but he's saying the same thing. You know, he was an engineer back in Africa, building like dam and stuff. But now he's just working menial job just so that his son can go to a good college and study engineering. It was like, whoa, that was a lot of commitment. The whole family, just the only purpose of their family here is just for their one child to go to a good college. You know, I kind of understand. So
I think the best immigrant are Mexicans.
That's what I was gonna say. Anything south of the border.
Because I think they are down to do anything. They're all happy. No one's complaining, and they'll build like all infrastructure type jobs. Build any fucking house, plumbing, carpentry, electrical. They'll valet. They'll do anything. So any like
They cook all the kinds of foods.
They do cook all the kinds.
They're versatile. You go to a Vietnamese restaurant, and that Mexican guy speaks better Vietnamese than most Vietnamese Americans all of a sudden now. Like, they're like, you know that fucking foam that comes out of a canister that you put in between your drywall? They're the foam of society. You need to fill some space?
I was wondering where that was going to go, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised.
That's them.
you always have good analogies.
They always fill some space, man.
He definitely has analogies.
What other household products are like Mexicans?
That's a good take.
I kind of agree with you too, because I lived in Texas for 8.5 years.
You saw a Mexican at Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh no, but sometimes when we're out in the countryside, me and my wife at the time, and our car broke down. This basically this Mexican guy, he's got I don't know 6-7 kids in the back, but they in the hot sun, but they still get off the truck and just help us out, you know.
Yeah, they're not too good for anything. Some people are they're above this job or whatever. They're not too good. They'll do anything.
I feel bad for their kids in the truck. So, oh no, they're just basically this was so hot in Texas, but then they're okay. You know, just fix my car and they're off. I said, oh man, that's really nice.
And they know how to have fun anywhere. So my wife's mom lives in East LA. It's pretty ghetto over there. And on the weekends, outside of the taco truck, like the illegal ones, one of the most creative things I've seen. So it's a concrete jungle, right? It's like all sidewalk, whatever, graffiti, whatever, everywhere. They brought the picnic to the taco stand. So they brought like literally 6x6 fake turf. They rolled it out and they had a picnic in the middle of like an alley. Someone set up an umbrella and I'm like, man, these guys don't complain. They'll just make something happy happen. It's a sad environment with fucking a homeless guy in the corner, like 2 dogs fucking on the side, and they.
Well, that's happy.
I don't mind that.
They're gonna have Al Pastor right there, and everyone's gonna be happy. I'm like, dude, that's crazy.
That's so true.
They're happy no matter what.
They throw the best parties, I think, too. Yeah, in your neighborhood, you live with a bunch of Mexican folks. They're playing music loud, but they'll also invite you to come over.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you complain, they're like,
Yeah, if you're walking over to complain, they'll be like, hey, neighbor, come on in! Kanasara, everything! This is my nephew!
you can't say no to that.
What? And for some reason, you're just there with a plate of tacos, and you're just like, all right, don't.
My only complaint is their love for fireworks is too much.
Wait a second, they love fireworks?
Oh, yeah.
That's so Chinese though. It's just
All time of the year, any time of the year, there's
Favorite
always
sports
fireworks.
team? 4th of July is great.
Yeah.
2 a.m. for no reason. It could be like fucking March 3rd. Boom!
Yeah.
For no reason.
They're like Hawaiians, dude. Hawaiians love fireworks too.
They do.
Oh,
They do.
that's interesting.
That's my only gripe.
Yeah.
Don't like the fireworks. Huh? You're not a firework guy?
Not at 2 a.m.
Yeah, you're right.
Trying to sleep a little bit.
Yeah, I used to work in a biotech company in Boston. We only have one Mexican employee. Yeah, the whole company's softball team depends on this one guy.
Because it's so good.
I'm not even kidding. We all show up, but if he's not there, we're screwed. We're fucked. You know?
We can't even hit the ball.
The one guy, he does everything.
He's pitching and catching.
Boom! Just everything.
I didn't know he was gonna go there.
Yeah.
So he just worked at the company just to play in the softball team?
Well, yeah, but I did go to like batting cage and stuff. Oh man, it sucks so bad. Yeah.
What about you, Nick?
My answer is brown people. So anything south of the border.
You guys are biased because you're wives.
Yes, we're in the culture. You know what I mean?
I'll join them too on that take.
Well, also too, like all the coworkers I've had that were the best coworkers were all like, dudes from Mexico, yo. And like I would slap them on the ass. They didn't like that much. And I would like try to do male camaraderie with them. They didn't like that, but that's fine. But when we would work, it was like we're all working hard together,
And they're happy.
Yeah,
Happy and
like-
fast paced.
And all the American, I had problems with all the American kids. Like I was working with. I was like, bro, fucking step your shit up. But the Mexican dudes, they were the best. They were the ones that were hustling the most.
That's true, because we hired a Mexican like moving company, super quick, professional, on time, real quick, right? And then we hired like a Chinese one, and motherfucker took a break every 15 minutes, smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, he's milking it.
And they're so weak, dude. Like the Mexican dudes put a refrigerator on his back. All right, and I'm like, damn, you guys are like Superman. Chinese dude, they needed like 10 people to move the same refrigerator, and they're just like, oh, my back. And then they go to the back, start smoking cigarettes again. I'm like, dang, dude.
They're
And
gambling
they
on the
stole
phone.
some money. I'm like,
They stole too.
yeah. And my mom was like, oh, and they backed their truck and hit the wall and broke the wall in half. And my landlord was like, fucking Chinese. She's Chinese. And she hates Chinese people. She goes, fucking Chinese. I never want to hire Chinese. But you're Chinese. She goes, don't ever work with Chinese.
That's what my mom said to me.
Really?
Every day.
I think it's the most funniest thing because every single time I talk to Chinese people, they hate Chinese people the most.
Yeah.
Whereas other Asians, they have a rivalry. But then Chinese people have a rivalry within Chinese people.
Self-hatred.
My dad hates Chinese too. And there's a saying, he hates them. You know, Toji Mogo.
Oh, Toji Mogo. Oh, yeah.
It's like it's called.
Sounds Japanese.
You steal the chicken while you pet the cat.
What does that mean?
So I guess they're always pulling a fast one on you. Hey, kitty cat, and they're like moving all the chickens behind you. Hey, kitty cat.
Oh wow! Look how nice that guy is.
Yeah.
He loves animals. He loves cats. Wow.
But you're stealing all the chickens.
Wow.
I mean, when you got like 1.6 billion people, you know, like in like hella different regions, dialects,
Doggy dog world.
yeah, you for sure hate your
So
people.
the rivalry within is bigger than.
There's too many of them.
But how come they don't say like they don't,
Americans
like,
be hating Americans, and we only got 300 million out
you know
here.
what, that's true.
Imagine when you got 1.6 billion.
But then I'm wondering why they don't like target a specific like, oh, I don't like Cantonese or whatever. It's always just I hate Chinese.
It's a blanket term.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's so funny.
But in China, there is something like that. You know, everybody's shitting on people from the certain province, and it got really bad. You know,
Like, what provinces got beef with each other?
I think like I came from northeast part of China.
What is that part called?
Like Shanghai?
No,
Oh,
northeast.
more like-
Yeah, northeast. Yeah, people always shit on the
Is that
northeast.
Xinjiang?
No, Xinjiang's northwest. The northeast. People there, they're drunks. They fight. You know, they're everything bad. But then
What's that region called? Northeast.
Dongbei.
Oh, Dongbe.
It's just called Northeast.
Yeah, northeast. Yeah. We had a.
Like
He's never
literal.
telling us. It's just northeast.
No, it is just called.
It's just northeast.
Dongbe people.
Yeah,
I've
they're just
heard
like.
that.
Yeah, but I don't quite fit the stereotype. I don't look like I can beat somebody up. But yeah.
The rough over there, huh? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah.
I mean, people from like the north and people from the south, they got issues with each other for sure in China.
Oh, they're always
Because isn't that like Cantonese and Mandarin culture or something? There's a difference. or-
So that's another layer.
Yeah.
Which is even within Cantonese
Yeah.
culture, there is the north and south.
Dang. Yeah, because when I grew up here in Monterey Park with a lot of Chinese guys, they're mostly Cantonese, and they would talk so much shit about Taiwanese.
Oh, really? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and then I'm like, you guys kind of look the same, and I can't tell, and I couldn't hear the difference between Cantonese and Mandarin back then until I hung out with a lot, and I was like, oh, I could hear. But I think Vietnamese and Cantonese sounded the same to me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
I could. Yeah.
Yeah, but then now I can tell. But back then it was really funny because I'm like, I don't know, like it's so niche. It's like so inside baseball that I'm like, but you guys are all Chinese. I don't get it.
But that's the same. The more similar, the more they tend to fight, right?
Yeah.
Like the Indians and Pakistanis.
I mean,
or-
our inside baseball is like New York to New Jersey.
Oh.
That's
Oh, yeah,
they're
that's
still
true.
on the east and in the north area. They're like right next to each other, but there's
Yeah.
just rivalry for the sake of rivalry.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
The Red Sox and Yankees. They're just like
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
Oh man, I once I went to a Yankee and Red Sox game in Boston. One guy showed up in the game with a Yankee hat. And then immediately there's a Red Sox fan, they're like 20-year-old, start to fight him. I was like, oh shit, this is terrible. And then there's a 50-year-old guy, broke them up. And then the 50-year-old guy is a Red Sox fan. Then he put a stranglehold on the Yankees guy. I was like, oh no, this middle-aged guy is even worse than the 20-year-old guys. They're really just...
And that's right when you took off your Yankee hat.
Yeah. Man, that was... Like even when I was buying the season tickets or something, because my coworkers went there earlier than me, so they got a better spot. I showed up about 5 o'clock in the morning, and then immediately a guy from the back showed up. So like, you didn't stand the line, we have to explain to him. As a reporter took a picture of us talking there. And the second day, the picture was on the news, and the guy who came up to argue with us, he actually had a gun here, it was on the picture of on the newspaper. We didn't even notice until we saw the newspaper. So, whoa, man, the people are just so serious about baseball there. Just,
Yeah, East Coast sports. I don't think they mess around.
oh yeah, no.
The Dodgers and the Giants, LA versus San Francisco.
Oh really?
Every time they play, somebody goes to the hospital, someone gets put in a
Dodger
coma.
fans too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, someone starts fighting. It's ridiculous.
The Doyers.
Even within the fucking LA soccer teams. My buddy went to a soccer game and it was like a Galaxy versus like the other LA team. I don't know what it is. And they were just throwing shit at him. And it's like LA versus. I'm like, I don't understand this. But yeah, Americans, we love this.
Oh, yeah. But I think it's universal, though.
Yeah, it's true.
Hate is universal.
You guys want to know what Grok's answer
I
is?
feel like the answer is none of what we said.
Is it Middle Eastern?
It isn't.
Kalyne's hoping for the whites. She's like, come on, whites.
Please
Brock
be best.
says
Please be
UK,
best.
UK.
Grok says Indian Americans.
Wow.
Really?
For earning an average of 100K plus a year,
That's
having some of the
true.
lowest crime rates, and 70% of them become full U.S. citizens within a decade.
Wow.
We put them in Asian though, right?
Oh, I totally missed it. Because you know, there's a whole list of how much like each culture makes.
Yeah.
And Indians like top 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no,
and then
no.
it says the immigrants who make the lowest income and commit the most crimes are Mexicans and Central Americans.
Dang.
The Salvies and Guatemalans.
Chose the wrong one.
That's all right.
I didn't know
It's our peoples
Mexicans-
though.
I didn't know the Latins are so scumbaggy like that.
What a household tool is an Indian American?
Indian?
Dude, Indian are the computers of America and the CEOs.
That's not a household
You
tool.
know what I heard? You know what I heard?
What do you mean household tool?
You know what I think Indians are? They're the air fresheners. The lowest cost, but makes the biggest impact.
Oh.
What were you thinking?
I didn't say nothing. I just honestly was like, where's he gonna go with this? Because when you said air fresheners, I was like, you painted yourself in a tough corner, but you pulled it out.
No, because if they have low crime rate, right? They have like low footprint. They don't really tax our
They do the most
dollars,
good.
You know,
but they
I-
still hyper.
growing up in California, I thought, Indians were all rich. And then I started finding out that like other countries, like Indians aren't. And then what my Indian friend told me is that America gets all the best ones because of the visa, the H1 Genius visa. And then they all work for all the tech companies and engineers. And then all the ones that can't come to America, they go to Canada. Or like Europe or whatever.
What do you think about Canada?
Well, that's
Second class.
No, because they become like the gangs, and then they're like the more like working class Indians go there.
The ghetto Indians go
Yeah,
there.
and then that's why they earn so much here and become CEOs and all that, because they're all the highly educated ones that come here.
That's what they say about Asian immigrants too.
The best ones come to the U.S.
Yeah, because people always stereotype of Asians are just being very smart, but it's also a selection thing.
But also they don't know.
Back in Asia.
They don't know how much we get beat to try to get good grades. Like if every culture beat the shit out of their kids to get good grades, like Asians, you'd be doing good too. Yeah. But they don't fuck them up. Like they fuck them up for wrong reasons. They're like, hey, you're bothering me while I'm watching my football game, and then they fuck them up. It's like use that same abuse energy, but turn them into a doctor. That's all you gotta do. That's the secret.
Focus it.
Yeah.
Air fresheners, I really didn't think he was going to go there.
That was a good one.
Yeah, especially because we all know what they say about Indians.
What do they say?